Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure. Oh, by the way, I need to first introduce myself. My name is Huang. Right now, I'm assistant professor at the Faculty of Education, and I'm doing AI in education, education data mining, and also data science in education. So today is my pleasure to welcome you all to today's seminar titled Large Language Models Agents from Language to Action. We're honored to have with us Professor Huang Chao, leading researcher in artificial intelligence. Professor Huang is an assistant professor and a PhD advisor in the Department of Computer Science and Institute of Data Science at the University of Hong Kong. So his research spans a wide range of critical areas in AI, including large language models, intelligent agents, graph learning, recommender systems, and smart cities. His work has been widely recognized in the academic community, with papers selected as influential contributions at prestigious venues such as KDD and CGIAR. He has also received numerous Best Paper awards and nominations. His research has been cited over 9,000 times, highlighting his significant impact on the field. So I know the reason why everyone is sitting here, because you are here you are interested in the large language models and also generative AI. So in recent years, large language models have revolutionized the way we think about artificial intelligence, and these models have demonstrated a really exceptional ability to understand and generate human language. So there are actually lots of questions definitely in your mind. And then today, Professor Huang will take us on a journey through the transformative synergy between large language models and autonomous agents, exploring how these systems are reshaping the future of AI and its application. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Professor Huang Chao.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me here, and thanks for the introduction by Professor Lin, and thanks for the support from AI for Literacy. Okay, so I'm very happy to be here. I think today, so happy to just get a chance to share with you guys about just our recent work about large language models and agents. Okay, so so I'm from Computing and Data Science School and also Institute of Data Science. And so recently our group focus on large language models, autonomous agents, graph learning, and smart cities. Okay, so so here will be our our group repository. So how many of you guys have experience using GitHub? Just raise up your hands. Yeah, great. Yeah, seems like most of you guys just have to access the GitHub. I believe GitHub is a very good resource for you guys just can play with the data sets and just can download some models and to explore the state of the art techniques. So our group with a vision of facilitate the development of open source community. So we open source each piece of our research work. So recently we have some light RG, AutoAgent, AI researcher, or some other auto deep research. Everything of our research work has been open source on GitHub. So just if you show interest in some just technical details about some resource code and also just the models and the technical details, you just feel free to stop by our repository. And I believe we just open source our research works. Just can have everyone or researchers and developers can have a just get a chance to for further development based on our findings. That will be super awesome, right? Okay, so so here we just recent year we have just dive into the large language models, especially for some just the large models, and we dive into different domains, and we have proposed a lot of some recent works from retrieval-augmented generation to agents, and recently we also have some just dive into some interaction, human machine interaction, and with just because we believe large language models will be a very good just a solution and frameworks which can reshape and revolutionize some different domains. Okay, so I think these figures are generated by Midjourney, just a different model. So I would like to give the credits to my students. They are super just active to generate some kind of just a very cool images. Okay, so here will be the achievements achieved by our group members. So I would like to give the credits to our team members. Okay, so here will be our team. And so we are still on a small scale, but very active. Yeah, so I think now in the area of large language models, I think probably we got a lot of chance, but now the technologies is fast evolving. So we have to just keep in the pace with the new findings and also the new trend of the technologies released by just a lot of big companies and new technologies regarding some agents, right? So that might be just our team. Okay, so basically, I think 2 years ago we have the release of the ChatGPT, the large language models. Everyone believe just large language models is very cool. And we can beyond just to have a chance to have a very cool chatbot to just to help us to do some language text to language-based task. So the pipeline of the large language models might be, so first we have some text corpus. Probably we can have some just a lot of content, text content collected from online. So that's our data. And then we build our large language models. Normally, we use transformer. The transformer will as the backbone to building the large language models. And then we do the self-supervised learning and to build the language models. So what might be the self-supervised learning task? Normally, we adopt the next token prediction, right? So next token prediction might be the self-supervised learning task we use as autoregressive methods to build our large language models. Okay, so that might be the pipeline because we assume that if we can build a very strong transformer architecture based on some massive text data collected online, we can have a very strong language capacity like a human, right? So after that, we can apply the large language models to a variety of tasks, like downstream tasks, like a question answering, and also some text classification, and also, now the GPT theories can help you guys to write code, write assignments, polish the email, or write some articles. Okay, so that will be the pipeline of the large language models, right? So, but recently, I think the power of the large language models have not, just have the potential of, just can benefit a lot of more domains and the tools, right? So that will be the LLM plus agents, right? So because before we use LLM but we might just heavily rely on LLM based on their just a very strong language capacities. But how about if the LLM can use tools, right? For example, probably we can just the LLM may have limited capacity understanding math, or probably cannot access to, can also have some limitation about the hallucination problem because they might lack some domain-specific knowledge, right? Okay, so that will be the key points. But how, just if we can get the LLM in the loop to use the tools, that might be very beneficial and helpful and can use to, just to benefit a lot of various domains will be that, okay. So that will be the motivations why just we propose agentic AI, right? Agentic AI will be just the themes we propose to. Okay, so I'm sorry. So we propose agentic AI frameworks. We propose 2 recent works. So first one will be the AutoAgent, and then we have the AI researcher task. Okay, so that's our recent auto-agentic frameworks we have. Okay, so first, here will be, the GitHub repositories so you can access to, just to know about the details. Okay, so what our AutoAgent do? So actually, it's a general AI assistant. Can be, just because very similar with a function like OpenAI Deep Research and also the manuals task. Okay, so that will be the purpose and objective of the AutoAgent. Okay, and here will be the frameworks of the AutoAgent. So first, we have some the key primary agent which can have some interaction with human. And what might be the objective of this agent? So it's probably will be serve as a scheduler because they take the input from human. And then what might be the next step? Then the agent will do out just to how to generate, how to do the task decomposition, and then to understand the human input and then so we just decompose the task into different like subtasks. And each task will be taken by, just by different like sub-agents. Okay, so then we have like a different like agents. So first we have some, just a coding agent. Because the agent probably is very important because the agent can, if the agent can code, right, everything's, because the gap between the human and the machine might be the code, right? So the human input the natural language, and then, the agents can understand the code. Okay, so we do the coding agent, and then we also have some, because the agent can have the, need to interact with different, like, just the files. We can have the data from our local environment and also online, right? So then we have some local file agent. Okay, so because we need to interact with, we need to have access to some local files, because probably so you have a lot of like articles, you have a lot of like PDF files. So we have a lot of, just files we need to input the data. Okay, so, but then based on these agents, we have our, like, so here's will be our, serve as our key function agent. And then we have some like managing files, and also some self-play agent customization. So why we need to have some customized agents design? Because just different persons may have from different domains or with different background. They may have some different preferences to just to like what kinds of like different types of agents. For example, some finance guys may need the agents to help to do some just financial analysis. I know some other researchers, probably from some medicine, they might need agents to retrieve some information or knowledge regarding the medicine, and then to do some another types of analysis. And if I'm a data scientist, I might need agents to help me to do some basic data analysis using writing some code about some Python, also some other kinds of like just programming. So then we need some our agent frameworks to be personal and customized, because people's or humans' requirements might be unlimited. You can always have some new requirements and needs. So that's the reasons why we cannot just to fix the agent configuration or settings. We need to have some new agents can be customized and into our frameworks. That might be more make our models to be more flexible and adaptive. Okay, so that will be our model and framework designs of what might be the auto agents. Okay, so here's you can also refer to these like diagrams about what be just our takes the language input from human, and then our models can also have different like to support different LLM providers, because we believe that people might have their own preference using different models. You can use OpenAI GPT series, you can use like Crowd, and you can also use DeepSeek. Okay, so, and then we have some local database, because you can also build your own database, right? So here the database might be a vector database, right? Because everything's like a text information, multimodal information, video, and also some audio information can be restored with some vectors. Okay, so that will be our data can support our auto agent. So actually the auto agent is designed to serve as a operating system for agents, right? Because you can imagine like just how Linux or Windows can have some their key components. They first have some file system, because we need the operating system can access our files, and we also have some just a memory. We also have some just a CPU. So here the CPU is understand the operating system. CPU understand the instructions, and to translate the instruction to the actions taken by the computer. But ours, auto agent, we takes the inputs from the human prompt, and then we understand the prompt, and our instructions are actioned by different LLMs. Okay, so that will be the frameworks of our auto agents, right? So it might be we would like to have our auto agents to be lightweight and also flexible, and also just can be to integrate with new components, because with probably we always have some like a new LLM providers can also functions can be just new arriving, so we can integrate those frameworks into our auto agent. Okay, so that will be our frameworks. Okay, and so here will be just some just interaction interface, and so previously our models got just like just the ranks the top positions for open source, but now it seems like we have more competitors because recently we have, I think most of you guys have heard about just manuals, right? So it's like a new agents and proposed. So it seems like now this domain has become more just fast evolving, and so we might need to just catch up with new training and to make our models to be more powerful and stronger. Okay, and so here will be the AutoAgent information, and you can also just to check the details on the GitHub. Okay, so here will be videos we can. Yeah, I can show you guys about some how to use our AutoAgent can do some financial analysis without any human intervention. Okay, so you can check. Okay, so now firstly the AutoAgent read some files from our local environment, right? And to them they go to the browser and to check some information about some Apple and NVIDIA stock analysis from information. Okay. And then they just to have some generate some some reports, and we also have some another demo videos I would like to show you guys about. Yeah. So first we have some basic functions. Here's we introduce our basic functions, right? And so we can because we have some our a file system we can upload. You can upload with your own file and prefer to just to input some knowledge. Okay. So then the AutoAgent will analyze just your file information, and so our website, our requirement is to ask the agent to recommend some just websites for learning Cantonese with some just some resources useful information. Okay, so it seems like just the now agent is searching just on the website and to check the information. Okay, so here will be the information returned by agents. The AutoAgents check some just different tutors and with some different rating information. Okay, so this task is we would like to ask the AutoAgent to write a code for me, right? So we just input our request, and then the AutoAgents just to directly to write a code and also to do the test, to input some test case to test the correctness of the written code. Okay, yeah. And then will be the codes written by the agents, right? And then we now move forwards to some complicated task. Okay. Yeah. So the entire process is conducted by the agents itself. And the agents can also check the information from YouTube. And finally, we generate the reports. Yeah. So here will be the reports we generated. And so we structure the knowledge, we retrieval, and just with different subtitles and also some grabs key information and insights from our retrieval information for that. Yeah. Yeah. So here will be another report. Yeah. Okay, so that will be just what our agents can do, right? Because sometimes we the students also our just the faculties may take a lot of times to survey something or do some just a take a long times to how to retrieve some information and search online. We have just spend a lot of time on this task. So our objective is to just automate this process and with cost-effective agents and help us to just can do some just efficient. Okay, so that will be our like first agent for. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we have talked about some auto agents. Actually, the auto agent is a web agent, or we can call it like an API agents, because we just build auto agents by directly call the function core and with the API. But another in our property digital environment, we may always have the API, like how to interact with a computer and also just a phone. We might need to adopt another ways to do this interaction. We call it like GUI agent. So the GUI agent, the objective of the GUI agent is to interact with between the human and the computer directly, like a human-like interaction, like properties you can click, right? So because how we use mobile phone, because we just to click or just directly have the human interaction with phone. So that would be another lines. We call it like a computer use or phone use. Okay, so but what might be the key challenges we might need to address in order to just to build our like a GUI agent? I think the problems will be due like two key challenges. So first we call it like a planning, because the input, for example, if I would like to ask the using natural language to ask my smartphones to directly order some food for me, right? So what might be the input? The input is my input information about like what kind of food. So it's a pure language. Okay. So then the agents will take the language as the input and then just to formulate this task into very detailed step-by-step information. Okay. So that for this stage we call it like a planning. Okay. So then we have the what to do in order to just to have a place of food for me, but how to take actions. So the second stage, we call it like a grounding. So the grounding seems like we just know how to just take the action, but we need to take the action. But how to take the action? So for the GUI agent, so this just just to analyze the just as the screenshot of the current like phone or computer, and then knows what might be the positions we need to click, right? Like human properties, we need to in order to just order some foods, we need to just go to the Meituan and to select what kind of like food we prefer, and then add the information into the cart, and then goes to the place order step, and then place the order, and then finally we make the payments. So that's the trajectories we need to do, and then just the GUI agents make the same just process as we did to just order some foods. Okay, so that might be the GUI agents. And we also have, just some work. We call it like a area UI. So it's like also is a GUI agent. It's a multimodal like a frameworks, because the GUI agent needs to understand the the interaction between the human and also the machine. So the GUI agent need to just to capture the key information from the screenshot. So it's like a multimodal, because it need to analyze the picture and analyze the images information and knows what might be the position we need to click, right? So here will be another agent, like we call it like a GUI agent. But what might be the next one? I think probably is because now recently people might doing research separately. So first we have the web agent, like a deep research, like a menus. So we call it like API or GUI agent. I'm sorry. So it's like a web agent and an API agent. But then another times we call it a GUI agent. But actually it's for human. We might only need a personal assistant. People may not care about like what might be the the API agents or should be the GUI agents. So we only need one strong and powerful personal assistant. Okay, so that's our vision and objective. So I think that probably in the future, we need to combine or integrate these two kinds of like agents, the web agents and also with the GUI agents. It seems like for different like a process or different operations, we might need to choose different like agents or different components to help us to finish this task, right? So that will be our visions towards what might be the future development of the agents. Okay, so so in addition to the auto agents, we are thinking about another problem because we need to make our agents to be stronger and probably to be smarter, like a PhD student, right? So because so we're thinking about, so can we leverage LLM to build the agents which can be our assistant to doing research? Yeah, because we are like we probably most of you guys are students and you need to do a lot of research, and we also spend a lot of time on doing research work. So it might be very cool if we can have some just agents techniques which can help us to just to improve the efficiency of our doing research. Okay, so that would be our motivation. So then we just propose and develop the AI researcher. So our objective is to design some fully automated scientific discovery with LLM agents. So that will be our just objective. So having these just objectives, we just think about like what might be the key steps of doing research. Okay, so as a PhD student, we first doing research, we need to do the literature review. Yeah, because we need to know what might be the existing solutions, what might be the current stage of my research directions, and then we need to come up with a cool idea. We can call it like idea generation, because we need to figure out what might be the challenges we need to have not been well solved. So we need to come up with a cool idea and a solution. And then we need to design our new algorithm to address the challenges and realize our objectives. And then we just need to code in to implement this algorithm. But beyond the implementation, we need to do some, just to refinement on the implementing the algorithm, because as we're doing some AI research work, we need to tune the parameters. We need to update and refine our algorithm to be more suitable to just to tackle the challenges we have, and because we need to make our algorithm work, right? So that will be the then we do the new algorithm design, implementation, and also validation. So come to the validation part, seems like we need to do some experiments, right? Because we need to do experiments to validate the effectiveness and the correctness of our algorithm. Okay, so but that might take a long time because we need to, based on some our experimental findings, and we need to figure out what might be the problems and which probably might not get very good results. So we should go back just to update our algorithm and to update our implementation, and then goes to the validation again and to check the correctness, and then just back and forth. Right? So that might take a long time. And finally, we do some experimental analysis, right? Because we need to grab our findings into our paper, and then we just write a paper. So we talk about a lot of steps and to evolving from just a literature review, idea generation to the publish to write a paper. So that probably take a lot of time because we have a lot of steps. So that might just might be very cool if we can have the LLM agents to do that, right? Because so the doing research may take a lot of like a subtask. So if we can decompose our research like a pipeline into different tasks, into different subtasks, and each task can be taken by different agents, that might just to bring us a very good like efficiency especially for the scientific discovery. Okay, so that will be our like frameworks for our AI researcher. Yeah, because we need to just to leverage the powerful knowledge of the LLM and to just to automate the entire like research pipeline for that. Okay, so I would like to show you guys some our like generated papers and just totally generated by AI researcher. Okay, so you can check that. So this paper is totally generated by AI researcher from the literature review, idea generation, algorithm implementation, design, and also doing research, doing some experiments, right? So and we also have some AI research like AI researcher generated codes. So here will be the code directly generated by AI researcher. Okay, so because we input our requirements, and then the AI researcher can understand what you would like to have in your algorithm and then do the implementation with the LM. Right? Okay, so yeah, you can see that so every equations are derived by the AI researcher. Okay, so we also do some just do a lot of some experimental analysis and to validate the effectiveness of the agent, effectiveness of the AI research results, and also just to do some application study and some further a visualization analysis from the experimental results. Okay, so the motivation of doing of design an AI researcher is not just directly use AI researcher to doing research. So because we would like to have the AI researcher to become your assistant, to become your a research assistant to help you to do more efficient scientific discovery. So I think probably that will be to fully utilize or just to leverage the potential of the LLM and with some agents and with some very cool tool use and for some scientific discovery, right? Because I think different domains you might need to use different tools, finance, medicine, or some mechanism, or some different physics, chemistry. Different domains might need different and new tools. That might be very helpful if you can integrate new tools into the AI researcher and to just to improve performance of the AI researcher and to meet your requirement, and which can just be beneficial to your domain research work. Okay, so that might be very cool. Okay, so this work is also open source, and you can also play with it. Yeah, so because now we are still working on some just a UI interface and to development and to have more better just to show our work. And so yeah, so just you can directly download from the GitHub and fork and just to use it. Yeah, please just feel free to give us any feedback if you just show interest in the AI researcher work. Okay, so that will be the first line of the agentic AI, and then we also do some research work, just to address the challenges of the utilization and the data privacy of the LLM. Because recently we we might have this experience of using LLM, but the LLM may not provide accurate or also need some domain-specific knowledge. And just because sometimes the LLM might lack the domain-specific knowledge. And also another thing, we probably need to care about the data privacy. We cannot directly to feed the data into the pre-training stage. So things that might be the motivation of why we need to just to do some to retrieval-augmented generation. So towards these lines, we propose a retrieval RAG family, right? So we propose our media RAG, light RAG, and video RAG with different motivations for that. Okay, so first we have our light RAG because we should have just to design some lightweight and also efficient RAG algorithm to have some just to enable the LLM can access to your personal or private or domain-specific knowledge and data, and to provide some response and answer some questions. And another thing is probably I think the next breakthrough of the LLM probably is we need to make the LLM goes to the on-device environment, because that's also very important, right? Because we can have the monitor, laptop, and we also have some smartphones, right? But if we would like to have the LLM on device, right? So what might be the challenges, right? So because we need to think about the data privacy, right? Because we need to LLM to access the data on our mobile phone, right? So you can imagine if the LLM can access to all of your data, probably the LLM understand better than you about yourself, right? Because the LLM can access the WeChat, can access your email, can access your videos, pictures. We probably can know your behaviors. What do you watch on TikTok? What do you purchase on Amazon? So it seems like we need to care about the data privacy. So in order to keep the data privacy, means we cannot allow the data to be taken out of our smartphone. Okay, so that will be the requirement. And we need to have designed some on-device LLMs. Okay, so but the the problem is that the key challenge of the design of on-device LLM because the powerful and the strong language capacity of language models is just powered by the huge parameters. It's a large language model. The large number of parameters brings the strength to the large language model. But now it seems like we goes to another way. We would like to have our on-device LLM, but with very good performance, but probably with a very small scale because smartphones may have some resource limited compared with some very powerful servers. Okay, so that might be the key challenges of our doing some on-device LLM because we need to maintain some very good performance of language model, but with resource limited on-device, just to equipment. Okay, so that one may be the key challenges, right? But I think another, just a very potential solution for the on-device LLM because the DeepSeek and the GPT crowd is very powerful, but we might need of all perspective of its properties capacities. For example, if we would like to have an on-device element, we might only care one dimension of its capacities, right? So, for example, if we would like to have some on-device language model can help us to retrieve some things, we might not need a very strong math skills, right? Because we only need some retrieval skills. So probably we can have some very multiple, small language model can all cooperate with each other and to reach out to a very strong performance. Okay, so that will be our, just the challenges and also motivations why we need to have some on-device LLM and also, just how to enable this LLM to be successful to meet our requirement. Okay, so that's the reasons why we come up with frameworks. We call it media IG because media IG means you can chat with your personal data. So because now we have a lot of data on phone, but how to chat with your personal data? For example, if I would like to know, in 2024, what types of food I like the most, right? Or what might be the key milestone of my 2024. So it seems like you would have some summary information. You would like to capture the milestone or moments, key moments from your personal data. So that will be, just the key motivation of our, development of the media IG. Okay. So another things so we talk about a lot about text data, but in your, in our devices or some properties environment, we also have some multimodal modalities information like video data, right? So for example, you probably take the class, but you have a very, just hundreds of hours of tutorials or recordings for your lectures. But if you would like to know some key or detailed specific knowledge from your course, you have to watch the entire video and to go through each piece of details and to figure out the knowledge. That might take a long time. So we think about problem if you can directly chat with your videos. That might be very cool, right? So for example, if I only would like to retrieve some specific knowledge about some large language models or agents, I probably care nothing about some previous methods or some other some old school themes. So I would like to only care about some latest things. So I can directly enable the language model to help me to retrieve the relevant clips of the videos and to answer my questions. Okay, so that might be very cool. And that's the motivation is why we just design our video RG, because we would like to have the video RGs to have the capacities and you can directly to chat with your videos. So the input to the video RG is very long, it's extremely long context videos. So we make it long to be hundreds of hours. So that might, just will be the key limitations of current multimodal language models because their input length might be limited. Okay, so that's the reasons why we believe video RG might be very useful to the practical scenarios because we can take the long context videos as an input and then we can do the analysis and to grab some or capture the key information and understand the videos and to fit your requirement and to in response to your answers. Okay, so We also release some benchmark. If you would like to have some, just to evaluate your model, you can also, just play with our data sets. And because our video actually can understand the long videos, so we also built another, to use video IG to just to as a like a tailor, to a creator to generate some very short video based on some like movies. The input will be the user like a requirement of what kind of like a context about the thing, and one might be the output will be the content retrieval and from the videos. Yeah, but so this demo is only for some like a presentation. So when we do the, just do the generated video, we need to care about the copyright information. Okay, so here will be only to some. So for this video, the input from the user will be about the interstellar. So the emotion expressed in that love can transcribe the times. So we just input that kind of like we need to have some, just input information, and then the model will understand the human input with some semantics information, and then generate a video clip directly from the movie. Okay, here we go. You can check. Okay. So this video is generated directly by retrieval some relevant clip from the original video, because the models can understand like human inputs with the semantics information, and then so they can capture what might be the relevant clip and to put it together. Yeah. Yeah, because we care about the love. So the models understand this content information and to retrieve some relevant, like a clip from the original, just a video about the love. Right? Okay, so because the love can be expressed with different dimensions, some properties will be family, or some, just different like clicks, or, just so they understand this context and to do the retrieval information. Okay, so another, okay, so here will be another videos we generated using video RG. So both the video and the audio are generated by the video RG. Yeah. So it's about the movie Spider-Man. Yeah, so the text will be the input prompt by the users. Okay, it seems like so we not only capture the relevant clip from the video, and we also generate some audios which can be just keep the same pace of the video information to align them well and to generate the just the final videos. Yeah, again we need to care about the copyright. So this video just used for presentation today. Yeah, so here's just that might be the key contact I present today. So I would like to show you guys about like what might be the just might be the next step. I think the agents and the LLMs, just we have a lot of like potential, and we can leverage the agents to automate the complicated task or in our daily life. But what's the next? I think probably the first dimension, we should to incorporate some multimodal information or multimodal capacity, because our physical environment, we might involve some multimodal information, right? So we should enable the agents to understand the not only like some visual information and also some audio information, speech from the human, and to have a better interaction with, just with like a human between the machine and the users. And another thing is we should enable the agents to have the self-learning capacities, right? Because I think our tasks are unlimited. We always can have the new task, but agents might have some limitations to learn some the new task information. That might, just might limit their, capacity and performance. So that might be very helpful if we can enable the LM can self-learn, just have some self-learning capacities which can be adaptive to the new environment and new tasks. That might, just might be very cool. Means that like a human learn things. We always learn things by taking some videos. Probably so you can do the first, and then the agents can follow what you did and to finish the task. That might be very beneficial. Okay, so that might be the content like I would like to share today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your attendance. Okay,
thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for Professor Huang's like really exciting talks on like hallucination issue, privacy issue, and also agentic agents. So yeah, so first let's have our question or our QA session in this room. Like anyone, you have any question?
Hi, Professor. Thank you for your talk. My question is about hallucination, because according to a Nature report, like newer and larger version of major AI models are more likely to generate wrong answers because they would rather generate something nonsense rather than admitting that they know nothing. So they're trying to lie, but not admitting that they don't know it. And there are some platforms like Perplexity, where you can do some research. It will give you the source, some citations, but when you click on it, you'll find out it's not related to the work. So how do you manage to like solve this issue to improve it in your agent? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, utilization is a key challenge in LM, right? Especially for, so first we properties with the LM may lack some domain-based knowledge, so the LM cannot always, just provide some accurate answers. So in Mandarin, we say like 一本正经的胡说八道, right? So that might be the key challenges, especially for a current like LM. So my suggestions to address the challenges might be we might leverage the like an agent or the RAG, the retrieval-augmented generation, because the LM may lack some domain-specific knowledge. So that's the reasons why we need to have their access capacities to the domain-specific knowledge. So somehow we can constrain their, just their response and to reduce likelihood to provide some incorrect answers. Okay, so and also another thing you mentioned, Perplexity. So Perplexity helps the users to find citations and also to retrieve some relevant information. I think now the next, the probably is recent like deep research and also some other agentic AI. We try to improve the retrieval mechanisms and try to identify the really relevant information from online. So that might be, you mentioned that probably the Perplexity return you the content with citation, but you figure out it might not be relevant, right? So that probably is I think the key limitation for the case you mentioned probably is just the first the model might not understand your prompt, yeah. And another thing is based on their understanding, they probably cannot just always to retrieve some relevant information for that. So now I think that might be the key challenges. I think my suggestion is we can enable the agents to have the capacity to retrieve different platforms. So first it can goes to, for example, if you would like to know the rating and reviews about the movie. So it might be very useful if you directly go to Xiaohongshu right now. Yeah, so I think that probably is the LM can or agents can go to different platforms and then summarize them and to provide your conclusive information for your references. That might be more helpful to elevate the bias from the just one singular dimension of the data source. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Huang, sharing. I may want to know how do you think about the locally deployed AI, like the end-side AI, and do you think there will be a chance that the agent will be developed by developed on the end side AI? Thank you.
Okay, so you mean that we need to some like a locally deployed like a LM?
Yeah, locally deployed small models.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think that's very useful. Yeah, because we if we would like to have some like on-device AI or on-device LM, we have to deploy our model on our device environment. Yeah. So but that might just brings a limitation because if we can deploy the model on our smartphone, the model is a small model. But how to define a small model? So recently, if the number of the parameters is less than 3 billions, we can consider it as a small model, right? So and then we can deploy it on our on-device environment. But the challenge is that we can not rely on our like on-device LM to provide very strong language capacities like the GPT, like DeepSeek, right? So I think probably it might be useful if we can only deploy some like a small language model on our smartphones to help us to do some like a simple retrieval or some like to interact with the app. So that makes sense. But you can, if you goes to to have some very just a language requirement, for example, help you to polish a paper, you have to goes to the crowd-based language model. So I would like to say, so probably the future we have some hybrid like a LM. So you can depends on like what you would like LM expect LM to do. So if your requirement cannot be well resolved by the on-device LM, you might need to go to the crowd-based one. So yeah, it's a hybrid like Apple Intelligence. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation today. And yeah, you've been touching on RAG, and also you touched on multimodal. So that I personally also believe that in the future we can see something like a robot that can see, that can hear, that can even smell, right? But in order to achieve all that, I think memory is something very important, and especially now in the industries, I think there's a challenge of long-term memory. So I just wonder 2 questions. First of all, from your perspective, what are some of the attempts in the industry to solve this long-term memory problem? And what do you think would be the best direction to tackle this?
Yeah, that's really a very good question. So for LM, people may care about the long context input. And for the agents, we care about the memory. Because just if we have a long trajectory and steps we need to finish in order to realize this task, we have to design our memory system. I think one thing is to, just when you design your memory system or memory mechanisms, you need to think about like what might be the key information you need to record in your memory. Yeah, like what might be the properties will be the long context input. It seems like sometimes if you go to another task, you might replace some context from the memory. So it seems like we need to do just the context switch between different tasks. And in order to maintain a very good memory system, in order to support the success of the agents to take actions. Yeah, so it seems like just different levels of memory. So the most frequent use themes, you can just put it in like a most frequent, you can have a high hit. Yeah, so after that, you probably will just try to switch between different levels of context for your memory.
Thanks so much, Professor. So far, the examples that you showed are all based on English. So I'm wondering if there's any, because say, as a social scientist, we read material from different languages and want to overcome the cultural barrier leveraging LLM. So
okay, yeah, that's very useful. I think probably it's in your domains, you might need to just do some analysis based on some like Mandarin or Cantonese, right? Okay, so different like Chinese characters. Yeah. So yeah, I think so because the demos we present using English because we would like to have it more general. But I think that if you just do some Chinese, I think the only difference is to replace some I think the current like a Cloud GPT series or DeepSeek can support Chinese. Yeah, so I think there is not too much difference. Yeah, especially for between like a Chinese or and English. Yeah, so yeah, go ahead.
And another question is that I try to localize the LLM and do fine tuning, but it seems like it sets a relatively high, steep learning curve for outsiders. And I'm wondering, like if I use the RAG or the agent that you recommend, would that set higher, for example, it set higher requirements for hardwares like GPU or other. So are there any like stricter requirements for the hardwares? Or,
Okay, I see. Yeah, so currently for the RAG and the agents, we do not tune the models. Yeah, so we just use the model as a backbone and to understand our like a prompt on the instructions and then take actions. So the current like most of the agents and the RAGs might not no need to train the model. So the only difference is the token. So you need to pay the token and to with different like APIs and provided by the LLM providers, right? So that might be the cost. And so if we goes to, we would like to just to have the agents capacity to be the next level. So we are currently working on some directions to tune the agents. Yeah, because one of the key just capacities of the to just to bring the success to the agents might be the tool use. Yeah, because we have a lot of tool use. So if you adopt some appropriate tools, you might finish this task. You can finish the task, right? So for that capacities, we might we would like to tune the LM. Right? So but I think if we would like to tune, and even we would like to use some reinforcement learning to tune, we might need some computation resources, like probably is A100. Yeah, but I think that might not affordable, especially for a small group. So my suggestion is, it might be very cool if we don't need to tune something, then we can directly use something, or that might be more efficient. But if you would like to tune some things, I think probably you can start with some very small scale model, like Qianwen 1.5B. That might be a very small scale, and then you goes to 7B. I think 7B might be the maximum, just the models we can play with it, and it goes to like a 70 or I think only the big tech can afford to tune it. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Sorry, myself. Yeah, sorry. I want to ask quite a few questions about, say, for example, if you want to make use of the AutoAgent framework to deploy another agent for another domain, is this difficult or is it easy to reuse your code?
Okay, so for the web agents, so we would like to make it more general. So no matter what kinds of like domains we need to, so the AutoAgent is designed to cross different domains. You can you can input your prompt with your domain-specific information, and so the AutoAgent can help understand your input and to retrieve the relevant information which is relevant to your domain. So we do not differentiate the different domains. So we would like to build some general like AI agents, like GPT do not differentiate different domains.
Okay. One more question. I read your online documentation. There's a blank page about the LangFlow integration. I'm curious to know how the AutoAgent will integrated with LangFlow. And another question is, how about will you deploy the MCP on the tools in the future?
Yeah, the MCP now is very hot. Yeah, it's a hot topic. Recently, we proposed the Anthropic, the crowd proposed the MCP. Call it like a model context protocol. The MCP is proposed because they would like to have some components to be well designed to interact with different like interface. Yeah, I think. But now we are still working on to support just AutoAgent with MCP. Yeah, because we think it might bring new flexibility to have our AutoAgent to be more adaptive for that and also more efficient.
And I also have one question. So maybe open for all the people in this room to think about it. So I think that's a really awesome, like the system, like AutoAgent, like you can provide, it's more like users, they can just input a prompt and then they can get a system. That's really cool. But I'm thinking about like the evaluation of like the, the report. Let's say, here's a report. Let's say we're doing AI in education, and then the teachers, they want to generate kinds of report about student performance or maybe other characteristics. And then, for example, like the next step, how like whether the teachers or other education stakeholders whether they feel like this report really useful for them to understand like the students' learning process or their learning performance. And then maybe for the next step, we can see once the teachers, they try to use the suggestions or comment from report and further help the students, support students, and then to what extent the students, they can get, certain improvement. Could be the learning performance, could be other, dimensions or characteristics. So I would say, so this is just like really kinds of general comments. Like once we have like these kinds of AI system, how can we bridge in, like the gap or the effort between the AI and also the AI, like, or maybe other human stakeholders. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really very important, especially for education. So yeah, because we would like to have an AI or LLM agents as a very effective tool and to improve the learning curve of the students. As we discussed before, we would like to have to improve the capacities of the AI, and also simultaneously we would like to improve the capacity of the students. Yeah, so we want to, just to have them jointly to grow with a stronger performance. I think probably if we can have, just our agents or some other like language models to be more personal and customized to fit the requirement or learning curve or learning pace of the student, that might be very cool. Because we can have some like a personal or customized tutors and to help students and to probably just to provide some personal response and to address students like questions. I think that might be helpful.
Yeah, thank you. And we do have so many questions online from Zoom. So let's jump into the Zoom part and then we can come back to our question in this room. So our first question is, what is the key difference between agents and the functions?
Okay. Yeah, so the function, I think one key part for agents is the function core. So the functions is provided by different applications. For example, some like a WeChat can provide functions, and the Chrome can provide functions. YouTube can also provide functions. So the agents, the task and objective of the agent is to call different functions as a tool, and then to have them cooperate and to finish the task. I think that might be the agent is the AI assistant to call the functions, yeah, like the human do. Okay.
Okay, then the second question is how reliable do you think the LLM-based evaluation for RAG?
How reliable do you think the LLM-based evaluation for RAG are? Okay, I think the reliable of LLM-based, because the RAG is, just there is no ground truth, especially for some domain-based RAG, because how to evaluate the response, the quality of the answer, it might probably involve some domain-based, like an expert for that. I believe that probably currently we might use the LLM, the more powerful LLM, as a judge, and to decide like what kind, which response might perform better. So that might be the current RAG system to evaluate its effectiveness. But I think for the domain space, I do suggest to involve some domain expert to evaluate the performance. Yeah.
Okay, then the next question from Phil, like what key issues shall a curriculum or course designer pay attention to when inviting university students, like including postgraduate students, to learn to advance their research and publication skill with agents highlighted today?
Okay, so I believe that the research agents and the AI researcher might be very good if they can help you to do some, just very time-consuming and also some repeated tasks, like some literature review or the summarize the key information from a lot of papers. That might be, I think that might probably will be one very important part the agents or LLM can improve. Yeah, but I think for the key, the important for the scientific discovery, I do encourage students to work with the agents to have more scientific discovery and more insights. Yeah, it's not just to heavily rely on AI researcher to help you to write a code, right, or do everything for you. It seems like if we can leverage LLM to help us to to structure our ideas, but are, I think probably it might not be very helpful or beneficial if we heavily rely on LLM to help just write a paper. I think that might be the key point for using the research assistant or AI researcher to help us to doing research.
And then the second question from Philby is, has your data intelligence lab provided some ethical codes or practice for like general audience to read and also like draw the reference, issues related to copyrights?
Okay. Yeah.
These things, yeah.
Yeah. So currently, the generative videos has not been released on GitHub because we consider the copyright. We just to use videos to present and to show the effectiveness of our frameworks to just to understand the visual features and also the multimodal content information. I think the copyright is very important. We need to consider that. Yeah. So probably we need to first to have some copyright information. Probably we need to just use some open source like videos and to do the like a video understanding for the demonstration part.
And the next question from Minghui. For API, what kinds of aspects shall we focus on in terms of keeping it lightweight and efficient?
So the API stands for the API core, or what types of should we focus in terms of keeping it lightweight and efficient? Yeah. So yeah, could you just provide more clarification about the API? Yeah, because the current you mean the API is like a token provided by different LLM providers. Yeah. So because so sometimes we need to use the API, and so you mean that keep it lightweight and efficient. So I think the most important things for the API, because we would like to we would like to make it like a cost effective. We don't want to spend a lot of cost on the API. So you can choose probably it's like the GPT-4 MIDI or some Crowd 3.5 or other DeepSeek. You can pick up whatever just LM APIs and to fit your domains.
Yeah. I guess Minghui probably can further clarify it. And then another question from our center, Center for Education, a site center. And then is Andy, question for video rag. What types of users or industries do you see benefiting most from video rag? And how did their needs shape its development?
Okay, so the video rag takes a long context video as an input and do the just the video analysis and understanding and to provide the knowledge. I think one probably is like use the application of the video rag is to use video rag to understand the long context like a tutorial videos and to help you guys to how to learn the knowledge more efficient and directly from the you have like massive videos you have. And another application for the video agent might be because you also record a lot of like videos on your smartphone, and you probably would like to understand the moments from like what your life by understanding the video information, and you can help you guys to directly to retrieve what might be the key context information in your previous recorded videos on your smartphone. So I think that might be a very cool like applications for video rag.
Then let's come back to our room. Any questions?
Hi, I want to ask something about like how humans can be involved in the agentic process, because AIs tend to be like most AI agent frameworks use like tend to just let AI run and do everything, which is great because you kind of want it to do everything. But on the other hand, sometimes there are some very obvious things that people can very easily pick up when they're outputting things. So I was wondering if you have any ideas of how humans can cooperate or intervene with AI agents to get better results, and if you have any thoughts on this direction.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because what might be the role of the human if we have the agents, right? So I think that we can we propose or develop agents to help us to do some tasks that might take a lot of complicated and also time consuming, but we might not want to spend too much time on it. So that will be the motivations why we would like to have the agents to help us to automate this process. I think the key role of the human in the area of the LLM agents, I think one important is you can build your agents. Like Right, because our auto agents actually is back to our auto agent. Our auto agents is a pure like language driven like agents building frameworks. So everyone can build your agents based only using natural language. Because I think the majority of the human in the world have no coding background, but everyone has its preferences and requirement to building agents. So we can, if we can have some just agent frameworks, and we can have the frameworks to be accessed by everyone using natural language. It seems like if you can speak, you can build your agents without any code, zero code frameworks. Yeah, so it seems like I think that might be very helpful. Everyone can have your. I think in future probably so you can everyone have their own agents, and you probably I think people compete with their agents, not just the human itself. Okay.
May I? Okay. It's great to see you in person. It's fantastic. Our team is here from the Faculty of Arts, and we've been following your project for some time.
Thank you.
Really
Thank
fantastic projects. I have just a quick question about modularization. So when you show your AI agentic framework, there are multiple components, multiple modules, evaluation, RAG, lookup, retrieval. In terms of real-world deployment, what do we do with latency? It must slow down so the process of, so the output quality would improve, but then from the user's point of view, just have to sit there for like, hopefully 10 seconds, maybe a few minutes, maybe a couple of hours.
Yes.
Is there a technical solution to this challenge?
Yeah, that's a very important dimension we need to consider about the efficiency and latency. Yeah. So normally, I think auto agent can just finish a complicated task within like 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, because I think compared with a human, for example, we might take several days, a couple of days to do the literature review. So if the agents can finish the task within like 20 minutes, that might be more efficient compared with human. So I think the one bottleneck for latency or efficiency is how to just grab the data. Yeah, because if you would like to have your agents to probably walk through each piece of information on the web, that may take a long time, especially if you include some video information. The agents would like to take some time to understand the videos. Yeah, but if you only just specify some predefined resources for the agents to visit and to grab the data, that might I believe it might probably significantly improve the efficiency because they no need to to check like some different data sources and to figure out what might be the relevant. You can also predefine your preferences beforehand and to improve the efficiency for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Huang. May I ask how do you think about how to determine which work should be done by industry or which work should be done by academic? Because as far as I think that some engineering work pass the text into instructions, like using geometry or something else to do the puzzle or fix many corner cases. The industry area have more low-level function or API. They could use the hardware to do such things. The code because they could have a limited API inside their code, and their function could be directly called using their code and compiled to the hardware like the mobile. But if the academia want to do such things, we need to use the GUI and more words like the Apple. We don't have the privilege to access the user interface, and we can control it. But for the big tech industry, they have the ability to do such things. So every time I think about agents, I don't know, or something like this. I don't know whether should the academic to solve such things.
Okay, so you mean what properties will be the roles for the academia and the industry currently, like in the area of large language models? Yeah, I think that's also a good question. We often talk about within our faculties. I think especially for the research group, we may not have sufficient computation resources, and we also do not have sufficient money to support our research compared with big companies. I think probably for the countries the academia is probably will just pay more emphasis on designs on algorithms, because we might not have sufficient computational resources to scale up our algorithms. I think that might be the key just a role of the industry can do, because the industry can scale up the algorithm proposed or developed by the academic research group and to further validate its performance and effectiveness in some large-scale scenarios. I think that probably will be the cooperations of between the academia and the industry part. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for nice presentation. I have a question about agent. As far as I know, the agents, it seems that it can adjust the task with fixed procedures. It seems that we divided the task into several subtasks and design different agents and assign the subtask to the agents. But what if the task is too complex and needs some creativity? It seems, for example, if I want to incorporate the ability of agents in the knowledge graph-based model design, it seems that it's difficult to divide the task into several subtasks and change the sub-agents to adjust the subtasks. Could you please give any ideas or suggestions on how to incorporate the ability of agents with knowledge graph-based model? Thank you.
Yeah, so I think the logic graph properties will, just can provide some more insights of how to take action or how to retrieve knowledge for agents. So first, the agent need to retrieve some knowledge and to do the planning. Yeah, so if you have some logic graph can take as an input for the agents to can refer to, right? Because for example, if the agents can have no idea how to decompose your task into different subtasks, because the agents may not have the sufficient domain-specific knowledge. So the agents can refer to your provided logic graph and to do the planning. And then for taking action, right? For taking action means the agents need to go step by step. But if you just have some logic graph information can serve as a role of the instructions, right? So if you can provide the logic graph as the instructions, which can be understood by the agents, it might reduce the failure rate of the agents, right? Because when we use some new machines, we might refer to the instructions and to know how to manipulate the new machines. It's very similar as humans do. Right?
Thank you.
Hi, Professor. I'm doing research for text-to-SQL, something about a database. I want to ask a question about the agent. Do you think current research on agent is a little engineering or some hard to do some innovation? Yeah, because just the engineering, for example, we writing some prompt. Maybe I think not to to be research. Yeah, that's my confusion and yeah.
Yeah, that's also a very good question because just for agent. So currently, doing AI with LM, we might lead to involve some engineering work because sometimes we have to do some data cleaning, also to do the model training, model parameter tuning, some kind of so we probably this part of thing that work can be considered as engineering work. I think for the agent, yeah. So it seems like now if the agents can be enabled only with prompt only based methods, but if you would like to further to improve the performance and to how to make it work well to finish your task, you need to involve some just to design your system and to design your mechanisms, how to enable the efficient cooperation between different tasks and agents, and then how to enable the very good communication between different agents. Yeah, because currently the agent is normally will be the multi-agent. So we do not have only one agent, right? So that might be one. You can spend time to design some more efficient or effective like communication mechanism and protocol, like a MCP is a algorithm proposed to towards this line. And another thing is because you probably the agents, the key parts for the agents will be the tool use, right? How to pick up what might be the good tools we can use and we can leverage and to finish task. But how to inject the knowledge into the LM to have better like a tool use, that might probably involve some algorithm just to realize this objective. So and another thing is if you incorporate some multimodal information into the agent pipeline, you probably will involve some like a multimodal understanding or some how to capture the key information from the videos, from the audios, from the visual features. That might also involve a lot of like research you can explore. So that's my comments for that.
Let's have our last question in this room. Anyone? Okay.
Yeah, hi, Professor. I'm curious about whether the AutoAgent project, the system can like create an automatic agentic system like the AI researcher, like because the AutoAgent project is like a general purpose agentic system, and so can it like self-develop in a AI researcher agentic system like a task-specific systems? And
that's a very good idea. So we can use the AutoAgent to propose to develop the AI researcher.
Yeah, but but if so, is it still valuable to like building up like a task-specific agentic system? As a like research project.
Yeah. So normally, we can use AutoAgent to design the AI researcher. Yeah. So, but I think the key themes for the AI researcher, I think that when we do the AI researcher, the most just the time-consuming one is to how to design the algorithm and to enable the multi-agents to work like a back and forth between the algorithm design and also validation and do the data analysis. I think that probably if you would like to design your domain-specific agents, you can use AutoAgent to do that. But you probably might involve some some human knowledge and to try to tune. You can also need to tune your agents to fit your requirement and to perform better. I think AutoAgents can provide some initial version of the AI researcher or the domain-specific agents, but it might be more useful and helpful. You can just incorporate some new domain-specific knowledge to further improve its performance.
Okay. So as we come to the end of our today's seminar, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to take a moment to express our sincere appreciation to Professor Huang for sharing his deep insight on large language models. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you.